Are Israel's southern borders unprotected after the IDF's big squadron relocation? Apache Squadron relocated to Israel's northern borders. Is Netanyahu ignoring October 7th warnings again? IDF intel points toward another October 7th-like attack, but is the Israeli Prime Minister listening? As Hamas holds secret meetings in Israel's rival nations, Netanyahu's army rethinks security. October 7's ghosts haunt Israel, but why is Benjamin Netanyahu ignoring the gaps in security? The Israeli Air Force has permanently relocated its 190th Apache attack helicopter squadron from Ramon Air Base in southern Israel to Ramat David Air Base in the north. The 190th Squadron, known as the Magic Touch Squadron, has been moved to Ramat David Air Base in northern Israel, closer to the Lebanese and Syrian fronts. The squadron operates R-64A Apache attack helicopters, known in the Israeli Air Force as Piton or Cobra, which are central to Israel's close air support and rapid response missions. Israel says the move was made after lessons from the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack showed the danger of concentrating the entire Apache fleet at one location and limiting immediate response options. A formal ceremony was held at Ramat David Air Base to welcome the 190th Squadron, marking its permanent transfer into the Northern Command structure. The Israeli military said that basing the squadron at Ramat David will improve the availability of combat helicopters and shorten response time to emerging threats along the country's borders. The IDF says the move strengthens border defense by dispersing attack helicopter squadrons between northern and southern Israel, improving force resilience and preventing a single base vulnerability. Israeli troops stationed along the Gaza border are warning of fresh armed activity inside the Strip, raising new concerns about possible preparations for further attacks. The soldiers say they have observed gunmen operating in the area, while also reporting that explosives are being placed near the so-called Yellow Line, increasing fears of renewed violence. The Yellow Line divides areas of Gaza that are under Israeli control from those controlled by Hamas, making the reported activity particularly sensitive for troops stationed nearby. Some Israeli soldiers say the situation feels eerily similar to the period leading up to the October 7, 2023, Hamas-led attack, when warning signs were reportedly building before the assault began. Before the 2023 attack, Israeli surveillance troops had warned their superiors about Hamas training and preparations that appeared to be connected to a potential large-scale assault. Israeli surveillance soldiers had also reported suspicious Hamas movements and explosive-related activity, describing developments that they believed could indicate preparations for an imminent attack. According to a report by the Times of Israel, many of those warnings were not acted upon in time, raising questions about how seriously the intelligence was treated before the October 7th attack. Now, Israeli soldiers fear that their latest alerts about Hamas activity could once again be ignored, potentially allowing warning signs to go unaddressed until it is too late. One of Israel's surveillance soldiers said, and I quote, "I feel just like on October 6th. What's the difference? That we're identifying it on the Yellow Line and not on the border fence. That's the difference. We're really seeing that they know we won't fire on them. The Gazans aren't idiots. In the end, they're constantly testing us and seeing if we react or not. It's just like before October 7th. Feel a little unnecessary. If I know that, in any case, they won't do anything with my identification of terror activity, what's the point of my sitting 8 hours a day and monitoring the area super closely?" Unquote. One Israeli surveillance soldier said she feels helpless while watching what she describes as suspected terrorist activity taking place across the border, with concerns growing that the reported movements could pose a serious threat. Another soldier said the troops can feel unnecessary when the information they identify and report does not appear to result in immediate action, leaving them questioning whether their warnings are being taken seriously. The soldiers say Israeli combat troops are positioned only hundreds of meters away from suspected operatives, meaning any escalation or armed activity could potentially place frontline forces in immediate danger. One surveillance soldier warned that those combat troops could be exposed to serious risks if Israel fails to respond to the reported activity, particularly if the intelligence being gathered is not quickly translated into action. The report comes as US-backed efforts continue to push for Hamas to disarm in Gaza, adding another layer of tension to an already fragile security situation and raising questions about the prospects for lasting calm. Hamas has returned to Egypt for high-stakes talks as Trump's Gaza plan faces a major test, with disagreements still blocking its next phase. On August 16th, a Hamas delegation met Egyptian intelligence chief Hassan Rashad in Cairo to discuss strengthening the ceasefire and moving the Gaza roadmap forward. The delegation was led by Hamas chief Khalil al-Hayya, who arrived in Egypt on August 15th for his first official visit since assuming leadership in late July. Hamas said the talks would focus on advancing a 15-point post-war roadmap for Gaza, covering issues including Israeli withdrawal, Hamas weapons, and civilian administration. The group also wants mediators to press Israel to begin implementing the agreement, after Netanyahu publicly rejected key elements of the US-backed plan. A larger meeting is now being arranged around Jared Kushner's upcoming visit to Egypt, as Washington tries to narrow differences over Gaza's future. Hamas negotiators could meet U.S. officials and Board of Peace envoy Nikolai Mladenov, although the precise format and attendance of talks have not been confirmed. The planned meeting would focus on obstacles preventing the Gaza plan from moving ahead, including unresolved disputes over disarmament, governance, and Israeli military withdrawal. Kushner is due to visit both Israel and Egypt to try to bridge the gaps, traveling with Mladenov and reportedly other Board of Peace representatives. Hamas is also contacting Egyptian, Qatari, and Turkish mediators over the stalemate, relying on the three states to preserve momentum behind the ceasefire framework. The meeting comes amid reports of increased activity inside the Gaza Strip, adding pressure on mediators seeking to prevent the fragile process from collapsing.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.